there's been a lot of news coming out about Dendro. And you know what? I think it's time to talk about it. What's going on, YouTube? Leisure here once again. This time actually again with some more Genshin Impact. And I want to talk to you guys about Dendro. I was actually thinking about making a video about Kazuha versus Dendro. So kind of like help people who are thinking, oh, should I wait for Dendro or should I get Kazuha now? And I figured, you know what? Honestly, I'm not going to make a whole video on that. I'm just going to tell you right now, get Kazuha. Like, come on now. Like,
come on, son.
Like, Kazuha is obviously one of the best characters in the game. There's going to be plenty of Dendro characters. Get Kazuha, if you're wondering. Alright? Alright. But let's talk about Dendro and how wonderful it's possibly going to be. Alright? Oh, and also too, I wanted to thank you guys for, I got a whole lot of views on the last reaction that I got for Tui Harbingers. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. Since you guys liked it so much, I'm going to try and do some more reactions in the future. But let's talk about some Dendro, all right? Dendro right now is looking spectacular. And, man, I don't even know where to start. The main thing I'm very excited for is actually it's how it's going to operate when it comes to Electro. Man, I mean, because right now, of course, we have our Pyro and our Cryo and you know, vaporizes and hydro and all that stuff, you know, the amplified reactions, right? But it seems like when it comes to Electro, when it comes to the catalyzed reaction, it's going to actually buff the damage of Electro. And I'm thinking that it's going to be scaling off of EM. And I'm telling you right now, I called it so many times that Yae Miko's scaling with EM was very, very suspicious. What if Dendro and Electro have some type of special relationship going on where they can make good reactions, and when you have a character that has EM scaling, benefits from it twice as much. I called it in the video, the first video I made about Dendro like 4 or 5 months ago. I also talked about it again in more recent videos, and it's looking like I was right the whole time, honestly, and I gotta say, I was right. But that's besides the point, right? So it seems that Dendro and Electro are going to be a match made in heaven, and that's great right there. Honestly, I can't imagine a C2 Raiden with an amplified reaction with Dendro just hitting like a truck. But you know, we're getting it, so I'm not going to complain. But yeah, it's going to be great. And also, one thing that actually looked really, really good to me in terms of Electro, in terms of Dendro is, and there seems to be these triple reactions where I noticed it on one of the trailer, the official trailer that they did, where you do Hydro and Dendro and it creates these seeds. And then it also, you attach another element to it, whether it's Pyro or Electro or more Hydro, and it might cause another reaction, you know. And that's actually pretty good because it's going to make Electro charged team cons much stronger too. So that's the thing when it comes to that. So like these triple reactions add a whole nother layer to the game when it comes to that. Unfortunately, crowd's not going to be able to really interact with it, but you know, what can you do, you know? But these triple reactions, they do seem to really, because like, I like how it's going to do a few things. Well, first, actually, these triple reactions, I'm really excited to see how it's going to react with Hydro. I feel that Hydro DPSs like Child and Ayato are going to be much more viable, because the thing with Hydro DPS, Hydro is the best element in the game, right? It's the best element in the game. But the problem when it comes to the DPSs is that it's hard to get that amplified reactions when it comes to them, right? It's hard to get them to vaporize consistently because we don't have anybody that can apply Pyro at a fast rate enough for them to be able to do that. And also to, you know, when it comes to freeze, usually Cryo, because of Blizzard Strayer, is just a better pick when it comes to freeze teams. So now with this, it's going to cause all kinds of reactions, because we're going to be making blooms, we're going to be making those seeds as we're applying a bunch of Hydro, and it's going to be making a whole bunch of seeds, which seem to be able to be crowd controlled. You can control them, so Anemo is still going to play a good role when it comes to Dendro. And also, so that's also going to add some AoE. So with somebody like Child, who already excels in AoE, he's just going to be making all kinds of explosions. It's going to be pretty crazy, right? And also too, when it comes to Electrocharge, Hydro, Electro are both on the enemy at the same time. So when you put Dendro into the mix, well, now we're going to be seeing all these different types of reactions. Electro is going to be able to get the catalyze, which is going to do more damage. It's also going to make seeds, and then those seeds are going to do another reaction that's going to cause more damage to the enemy. There's going to be just all kinds of layers of damage going on. And Electrocharge is probably going to be one of the most meta team comps that you can do once Dendro gets added into it. So that's something special right there. That's something I'm really looking forward to and testing out myself and seeing how that goes. Child, who's somebody who applies Hydro very quickly. He's the best Hydro applicator in the game when it comes to how he does it melee game. Like, I know like Jincho does it really well, but when Child's actually hitting the enemy, he applies it better than anybody else can. So keep that in mind. And also too, when it comes to Pyro is actually going to benefit from this too. Because right now we have Yoimi and we have Hu Tao, who are two of some of the best Pyro DPSs we have in the game. But they're single target. But these Pyro reactions, they're going to add some AoE to the mix. Because when you add Pyro to that seed, it explodes, right? Which is one of the other, I think they call it Burgeon. I think that's what they call it. I might be pronouncing that wrong. So it's going to add an explosion. Same thing when it comes to Dendro MC's burst. It explodes when the pyro is attached to it. So it's adding different types of AoE capabilities when it comes to pyro, right? So that's when it comes to that. And also too, earlier I said that Child and pyro DPSs have a hard time vaporizing consistently because nobody really applies pyro fast enough. Now, it seems with burning, that might be a solution to that answer, because burning seems to constantly reapply pyro to the enemy. Now, normally we haven't really been able to test it that well, because typically whenever the enemy has burning, they're usually in grass, and the grass is reapplying pyro anyway, so you can't really tell the difference. But it seems that that burning is going to be able to do that. So when you're dealing with something like Melt Ganyu, maybe even Melt Ayaka, you can just constantly proc that pyro and make these very strong team comps. So I made a video about how Cryo's in danger, but with this new info when it comes to burning, maybe not so much. Maybe Cryo still has a fighting chance when it comes to Sumeru because of this fact right here. And oh, man, it's looking great. So that's the only thing when it comes to that. So that's another thing when it comes to his triple reactions. But on top of that, this is just stuff which just Dendro as an element, period. Now, what about certain characters' kits? Because right now, as we take a look at Tonari's kit, right, we can see that he adds some type of confusion to the enemy, right? So he has a unique effect to the enemy that's not something that you really see with any other element. And then we take a look at Traveler, and Traveler's burst changes what it does depending on the element that's interacting with it, right? Now, we don't know any of the other kits or future Dendro characters, whether it's leaks or anything like that, but I feel that this is starting a trend. I feel that when it comes to the Dendro characters are going to have very unique kits that have special interactions with either the move itself or the enemy, right? So we're going to start seeing maybe status elements on enemies like sleep or confuse, like you've already seen, or poison, things like that. I think we're going to start seeing these very unique things when it comes to these Dendro kits. And normally, when it comes to Archons are usually the Super Saiyan version of the Traveler. So I can only imagine what the Dendro Archon's going to be able to do. Maybe they're going to have some type of moveset where they do vastly different things depending on what element you're using on the field. So that's interesting within itself. So with the huge versatility and utility of Dendro as an element itself, it seems that these characters are going to have very unique kits. Also on top of that, just making these Dendro, making you really want to use Dendro. I think they're really, because that was one of the things I was scared about Dendro for, is that all the elements that we have right now, they're doing a fine job and we don't really need anything else. But now these Dendro characters and these Dendro reactions are giving so much more layers to the combat. Is that you are going to want to get it just for how fun it looks and how interesting it seems. So that's the thing when it comes to that. Dendro is just looking like it's about to be it's a ball. It's about to be a blast. And I can't wait to try it out. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to start hitting people real hard with my Electro. I can't wait to run any of that, all that, you know? So, but let me know what you guys think when it comes to that. Are you excited for Dendro? Is there anything that you think I missed that I should have addressed? Subscribe to the channel too to get more content like this. You know, I'm gonna keep pumping it out. I'm gonna keep pumping out informative stuff like this. I'm gonna start pumping out some more reaction content. Whatever people seem to gravitate to, I'll be on. And like the video if you like the content, and comment your thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys think. All right. With that, I'll end it there. Legend out.